Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another amazing live Ask Me Anything event by the Cybersecurity Marketing Society. We are so excited to have a luminary in our midst, a channel chief, a CMO, a woman who's a serial entrepreneur who has done so many things in this industry, has helped so many people. We have the myth, the legend, the Charlene Ignacio on the call today, CMO, CEO of Formnext Marketing and Channel Chief to the Stars. Charlene, thank you so much for being on today.
Oh, Jana, this is so fun. Hi, Justin. I want to make sure we recognize you and hear you. Yes, this is fun for me to be here with you. I love the community. You know, it's kind of funny. We all are siloed, right? Because we're just kind of doing our thing. But the fact that Jana, you and Maria can bring people together is such an honor. So I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
We're so excited to have you here. So before we begin, why don't you explain to the folks here a little bit about what Fornex Marketing does, and then we'll dive a little bit into your background and your experience. Because I used a lot of words, but I did not even touch on a small sliver of the experience that you have, Charlene.
Oh, you're kind. So everybody, my experience comes from a lot of hard work, a lot of mistakes, and a lot of wins and losses. I think as a serial entrepreneur, you have to be able to accept the wins and losses in your career. I haven't had a W-2 for 20 plus years. I've had to fight my way, crawl my way, and literally just take ownership and build my table that I get to sit at every day as not only as a C-suite executive, but able to help clients. So Fornex is really fun. The story is that Fornex, if you think about the brain, there's the obvious brain, but inside of the brain, there's an inner part of it, and it's called Fornex. It's where everything passes through. And so when the name came, it was from my team who said, Char, we're in this industry. We need to have a name that's specific to what we get to do. And we touch everything, both on the vendor side, the MSP side. We do channel. We are a fractional C-suite team. We have partnerships across the world. We are global. And one of the things that's really fun is we're all about people. And so when we did this, the goal of Fornex is to be all things and to have everything touch through what I consider relationships. And so when we did this, Jana, one of the things that was really powerful as a serial entrepreneur was to be hyper niche focused into the industry that we're in. And of course, guys, you guys know this, cybersecurity, technology, MSPs, we were cool before it ever became cool. So we just want to make sure you all know all the pioneers, everyone who's been here, all the OGs. Fornex is here to collaborate and create this next level of channel chiefs. And of course, for some of you who are already in your industries, we want to make you extremely valuable to your organizations and to your clients. So this is really fun for us.
Awesome. And Fornex offers all sorts of services and support to cybersecurity marketers and marketing teams and cybersecurity companies. I know you help CEOs. I know you help your fractional and extended marketing support, and of course your channel expertise, which is where you guys super shine. So
it's true. It's true, guys. It's called work. That's what it is. You know, everyone wants to wrap it up with sparkles and pretty bows, but at the end of the day, guys, it's called work. And I know you're familiar with that. That's why you're here today. So thank you, Jana, for that warm welcome.
Of course. So Charlene, why don't you tell us about your journey to Channel Chief? Why don't we start there? Because Channel Chief is a title that maybe not everyone here aspires to be, because I think we have more of the channel marketer on, but is an important role. And how did you get to be there?
So I'll tell you a little bit about my background. So when I initially started off, you know, my undergrad, I was in business management. I did my internship at Walt Disney World. I actually did it in the marketing department. And so we focused in on legacy creation, being able to have a go-to-market strategy. And so all of those things, right, guys, are the checklist. Like, great, we do that. One of the things that's critical for my role is that I'm Black Belt Lean Six Sigma certified, which means that I think of systems and processes. And when you look at a business to scale, you need a system and process that's wrapped around your market. Your marketing efforts will not stick unless there's a process and a system that's duplicatable and scalable. And so my journey from moving from business management to being an entrepreneur to owning several companies in multiple industries. And then of course, you know, cybersecurity technology was there before it ever happened. My first website cost me $15,000. And, you know, today you have Wix and you have WordPress and you just put a template in and all of a sudden you have a website. So my journey in being on both sides of the deal, when I say that, the reason why I say that is because I'm a business owner. I'm a CEO. I've managed teams, enterprise level, throughout the world. And then I'm also on the other side of it. I'm a customer, right? I understand what services need to happen. I understand that experience. And so when you're a channel chief, there's three must-haves. And guys, you can write this down, underline that, do whatever you've got to do. But one is understand what to and through the channel is. Super important part of the foundation. Two, it's all about relationships. I think we can see the value of the market changing, where a lot of people were transactional. And I think it taught us when COVID hit and when the world finally got a lot more educated and trained. Your customer's better now than ever. They're more educated and trained. They're all about the relationship. It's beyond the dollar value. It's more about how are you going to help me really win and succeed. And third, guys, I want to invite you. It's all about your own journey. You know, a job isn't going to give you everything. You've got to do the extras in order for you to be as valuable and sticky for your team, your client, your company to invest in you. And so a lot of times we kind of stay complacent. And so my journey, Gianna, has been, I've got to do more. I've got to over deliver. I've got to overextend myself. I've got to do all those other things to cause that relationship with my client and my team. And sometimes when we're going into partners, like, how do I help them win? That's because I've done the extra, guys, not just what I do, but the extra is what makes us different, what makes us more successful maybe than other channel chiefs in their role. And you could probably tell that with a mile away, where people are just kind of stuck in their role versus those who are just like getting out of there. And you've heard the term hustle, but work is really the divider between someone successful and someone who's extremely successful in the space.
Awesome. And we will dive a little bit into how you're over delivering when you go through your slide deck that you have on a lot of questions that people have on how you're over delivering to your channel partners so that you become sticky, because it is very competitive in the channel space as well. We have our first question, and I want to invite everybody to post questions. There will actually be a drawing at the end of the session. So we will pick a winner of someone who's asked the question. So go ahead and ask those questions. Do not feel shy. You can use the Q&A or you can use the chat. This is a good one. Definitions. It's from Greg. Thank you, Greg.
Yes.
Definitions vary, and I am curious to hear how you distinguish between channel and ecosystem development. So, Charlene, what is that kind of is a good setting the stage question. How do you determine those definitions?
Greg's like at 5:00 somewhere. He's got bourbon in his coffee. Greg, we're going to be friends real fast. I'm telling you, we're going to have a party in Delaware just because of that. Amen. You see? So guys, here's how it works. Channel is different at multiple stages. Okay. When you think of a channel, if you're an MSP, for example, a channel might not mean necessarily what it means if you are a $15 to $20 million MSP. Very different expectations. Okay. So the word channel is what I consider defined by what stage of business you are in. Okay. Now, if you're a vendor selling into an MSP or into, IT providers, one of the biggest responsibilities that you have is to figure out how to make your partners win. Okay. So let me explain that a little bit. So when we have a vendor, for example, we have one right now. He's an AI solution, awesome solution, great. We just hit it out of the park with a couple of our partners. He comes in with what is he going to do to help that partner win? That partner at that stage may not have a maturity to, put $100 million into a budget to go to market. Like that's not, those are unicorns, right? So as a channel vendor, the vendor's responsibility is to come in and offer value and deliver so that the channel of whoever they're serving can get where they need to go. That is very different when it's a one-to-one. When you're one to 1,000 or one to many, the channel will mean different to you because there's integrations, there's strategic partnerships, there's go-to-market strategies, there's an email campaign. So everyone is at a different level. Now, ecosystem development. Ecosystem is defined by two things. One, every business has a circle of influence around common solutions. So for example, if I use a CPA, he's got a tax guy, right? Think about it. He's got a tax guy. He probably has office supplies. He probably has someone who does the mail. Like This business is supported by 250 other businesses that complement his service. That's an ecosystem, okay? The second, when you relate it to the channel, is that there's an ecosystem of complementary solutions. So for example, if you're a pen testing company, you might have partners who's XDR, MDR, or a virtual CISO. You might have a partner who can write, WISPs. Like there are certain tools that build into that ecosystem that make it that much better. And so ecosystems are defined by what complements that solution. But when you're talking about a business owner, their ecosystem is who funnels and feeds and contributes to that business success. So hopefully, Greg, that helps you kind of hear what I think it is. What is it? Oh, Sarah, here's another question, Jana. Oh, you see, they're so fast. They're typing fat. Greg, you got competition, my friend. They're after your prize. Oh, Jana, you're muted. Oh my gosh, guys, LinkedIn Live just blew up.
No. So we've got like six or seven questions here. I have ones also that y'all can't see that are coming in from the other side of the house. So LinkedIn, please do post questions. I'm watching the LinkedIn Live, and hopefully, I'm able to see your questions in real time.
Yes.
And then, Sarah, we're gonna get you,
Never forget your
Miranda.
first. Greg, you are terrible at this.
Oh, Greg. Okay, so let's go in order, unless
Going
there
in
is
order?
Okay, so here we go. Sarah, this is a great question too. Is there a difference between partner marketing and channel marketing, or is it just semantics? What do you think?
No, it's totally different. So let me tell you this. And in my slide, I'm going to explain a little bit more. But when you talk about channel, Sarah, there are multiple roles that build a channel program. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about my wonderful MSP who I've got in my mind. He's got 15 employees, just salt of the earth kind of guy. His partner marketing is different than channel marketing because he wants to get maybe the 15 flyers, okay, that maybe this pen testing company is going to use. That partner marketing is totally different because it's already pre-done. They throw their logo on there, that's there. Channel marketing is different because your outreach, when you're channel marketing, is trying to build your channel. You're trying to bring other MSPs in. So that's why they're two distinct comments that are used when I'm, as a channel chief, I'm always like, oh, what's your partner strategy? When we sign partner agreements, I'm like, so what's your go-to-market with us? Oh, well, this is it. I'm like, oh, okay. But if I'm trying to grow my channel, right, I'm going to do different things to attract them. So hopefully that helps Sarah really understand the difference. And the whole team has multiple roles. There's not just a channel chief. Like my role as a channel chief is very different than maybe my marketing team that's supporting me. And CMOs, so on the other side, guys, I have a real problem. I get to be a CMO for a lot of companies. And sometimes as a CMO, I don't understand the channel, but I'm so lucky because I have the bridge. And so you have to be able to kind of collaborate to the two departments or the two roles so that you guys can work in tandem with each other instead of kind of trying to compete with each other. That's a very misstep, I think, in a lot of organizations because of it.
There's a lot of, I think I've seen from my experience in the society and with our members is that channel is often housed not in marketing, but in sales. So right. Channel is viewed more as sales and marketing is over here in marketing world, and even partner channel marketing, right. They either have to bridge the gap and the orgs in total are kind of siloed, or there is not as much talking as there should be. And,
totally.
Marketing and channel have disparate priorities, which is a challenge to overcome.
Yeah. And guys, remember, I have experience launching SaaS products, services, MSPs, MSSPs, IT providers. Like my experience is really to help you get really clear on hitting the target. I don't want you to spend the next 6 months, 7 months trying to figure it out. Like just ask me a question, I'll tell you the answer, because there needs to be a complementary solution together, guys, as you build your, channel strategy. And of course, in the roles of a CMO, maybe a marketing manager, they've got to know where they are on the bus. I know that everyone's read Good to Great. It's the seat on the bus and getting in the right direction on that bus that's going to help us be successful at what we're doing. Oh man, Jana, there's more questions in here.
There's like a lot. So here we go. Here's the next one. So Sarah, you have any tips for starting a channel marketing program from scratch? I think that Charlene, you're going to hit that in your deck.
I'm going to hit that in my deck. So will you give me 5 minutes to do that? I promise I will make that happen.
Of course. Thank you, Sarah.
Yes.
We have from Lizzie. How important do you think it is to be oh, this is a juice. This is the
Oh,
never-ending one. How important do you think it is to be direct only or through channel when selling as a startup? So are you going to hit on that, Charlene, or do you want to hit
uh,
that now?
I'm going to hit that right now, Lizzie, because I think that's going to help everyone in the chat, like understand like, oh, this is the version, right? Like this is the focus. Okay. So when you're a startup, for example, one of our clients, he is a military grade communication tool. So he worked on the military base. They have, 90 other base. I mean, this is just a big deal. Okay. I never knew how many of this was until you get in there, right? So his important strategy was that he had experience in the end user, okay, which is totally critical because he had to understand the customer. So when he's selling to and through a channel, he has to understand how to help the MSP or MSSP sell the dang thing. So it was a leverage point for him to really speed up maybe. So when we work with a client, we go to market aggressively. Like, I don't know if you guys got this yet for me, but I'm like, if I love your product, we're freaking running. We're like, we're there. The problem is a lot of startups, they don't know who their customer is yet. So what they try to do is say, oh, we're channel. And I'm like, sometimes you benefit from going end user and then merge into a channel. Some of our clients, I tell them from the very beginning, you're a channel only because of what their end goal is. And so when you sell to a channel, there's two rules. You don't want to be a competitor to your salesperson, which is your MSP, MSSP. And two, then you better be ready to give them the tools to succeed in selling to and through a channel. A lot of times, this is terrible, but I'm going to use an analogy. You ever bake cookies, right? And you're like, oh, they're not done yet. And you keep checking and you keep checking. And then finally they're done. All the time that you keep checking is like, why don't we just know when it's ending? Like, what are we doing? How are we going to, have a perfect cookie? I'm just saying that in a channel relationship, they want you to come prepared so that they can grow with you. And that's the intent when you're running a channel to and through is that please be prepared because these MSPs and partners you want are going to move on to the next person who can just get them what they need and move through and to. So it's very critical, guys. I just want to make sure that's good. Oh, Justin, thank you. I appreciate that, Miranda. Yeah, I appreciate that. Mario had a question. So I want to say that one really quick, John. Is that okay?
Yep, go ahead.
Maria, I love your face. Thank you for being here.
Maria's here. Yay. Okay.
Chat. I gotta answer all these questions. I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go.
Now
Okay.
it is a party. So we
Hello,
are
everyone.
right.
Apologies for the late joining.
Hey, you're on vacation. You don't even need to, worry.
I'm back and, typical week after vacation, but I'm excited to get into the conversation.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
good, good.
Charlene is hitting up, is going to answer Mario Salinas's question. What is an MSSP versus an MSP? That's a good quick one.
Yeah. Really quick. And then we can dive into, the slides because Sarah's like, sure, I need you to answer my question. So there are three titles, okay? One, MSP is a managed service provider. They have typically been known as a break fix shop, which means that they go in when the printer's broken and they solve the problem. A lot of times MSPs have matured into being a technology provider. So a lot of times you'll hear IT or technology, and that's related back to an MSP. And so IT technology, they'll do like computer management, they'll get the hardware, if they're selling Dell, for example, a lot of, resellers, this type of role, they'll get it fixed up and ready so that it's secure. So when you bring in, maybe a device, it's not bring your own device day. It's more like, hey, you got to use what the company's issued you. So an MSP, in my mind and in my heart, because that's who we work with, they're specifically focused on the technology side of it. Now, there are different versions of technology. It could be virtual desktop integration, if you've ever heard of the words VDI. If you've heard the words of industry specific, maybe they only do construction or they only do, CPAs. Industry specific MSPs have specific things that they do, like they'll manage the QuickBooks, they'll manage the apps. And so MSPs and IT are the same, but what they deliver is different. So hopefully, Mario, that answers your question. MSSP, I love them. They're managed security providers. Here's what I mean by that. So MSP, well, it's kind of like, I hate to say this, but the security compliance provider, though, Miranda, is different because you can't have the Fox, like watch the hen house. Like it's not appropriate where an MSP is managing their own security because you're going to have a bias. Okay. So you have to have a third party come in. So an MSSP, when they talk about security, it could be cybersecurity, it could be physical security. We have some clients who do like schools, for example, they'll put cameras in. So that puts them in a different category. It's just because of how that customer needs those services. If you have partners who are auditors and independent, that's awesome. Like Arc 360 is one of our partners. They're awesome. They do an audit and then they'll bring us in for a pen test. So we love that. Or they bring us in for what I consider the SOC. Like sometimes it's just a part of where that process lives. But your MSSP, your MSP, your cybersecurity, IT, they fall into different buckets. Compliance, security, I mean, that's the name of the game now this year. Everybody wants to be in compliance because of all the multiple frameworks, but there's a different way to educate and market that out. And so I think that's more of a, how do I say this? It's a more mature conversation depending on, where your market is. It definitely is easier to sell compliance because there's a line item for it. The problem is that you have to be able to educate and communicate that in your marketing to make sure that the customer understands what compliance they need. That's the biggest fallout, I think, of where the market is going. They have to be able to communicate that and translate it into business terms, because I hate when they come and tech vomit to me. I say this from stage everywhere, guys. Like I was in Las Vegas and I said it from stage in front of 500 people. I said, stop tech vomiting because no one knows what you're doing. And they're like, sure, just tell us like it is. I'm like, I don't have any other way. So Jan, I've answered those questions. Hopefully that will help some people as we present. So thank you.
Awesome. So MSPs, it's like the IT sort of business setup stuff. The MSSPs focus on security. And then this new one, Miranda, MSCP, which Shar also talked about. That's a new one to me. I'm learning stuff on this webinar too. I've never heard of that. That is new to me. So we have we have more questions, but Shar, do you want to?
I'll answer two more questions and then I'll go to the slide. Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Here's a good one about attribution. This one is in our Q&A box. It's in our Q&A box here. How have you successfully addressed and tracked marketing attribution with spend through partners? Okay, so spend through partners, which is, as a marketer, there's a little less control over that, right? A little less visibility to demonstrate both pipeline and bookings.
So here's the key. You have to have a good technology platform. That's the first place you should always start, guys, is a PRM system. And this is the reason why. There are tons of PRMs. But there are 3 attributes that you have to have in order to be a good PRM. One is you have to be compliant with GDPR. Okay. So there's no crossover. There's no I'm going to peek over your side and see what you're doing. You have to be to and through. If you're going to run a channel, you have to be compliant with GDPR. This is a problem when you're using other solutions and other CRMs that say they're compliant and they're not, because you can still see all that stuff. That's not appropriate. So first thing is compliancy. You have to be able to be compliant if you're running a channel and then you're trying to show, your CFO how valuable you are in your budget and all this good stuff. Second is when you're trying to create KPIs, I'm sure that's part of, the lingo here, is you want to be able to monitor that. So here's an example. We are doing an event in Austin next week. I'm flying into Dallas. I've got meetings and then I'm going to be in Austin. We have a channel strategy that we're running. Each of our 3 partners have been giving things to do in order to make this, VIP dinner successful and great. What we're doing is we put codes to it. We've got special landing pages to it so we can monitor. Okay. We can monitor the action and the people coming through those funnels. And it takes an extra lift. I get it. It's work. But if you're going to try and show KPIs, this is what you got to do. In order to prove that your work is controlling or contributing to money and you're controlling these relationships, that's part of it. So 2, I hate to say this, but you have to put extra work in. You have to be able to scale your partner program with saying every one of our partners gets a dedicated link, gets a dedicated code, gets a dedicated landing page. If you're doing a partner strategy, for example, if you're going to do a webinar, right? You and the partner should put an event together that says, here's all the things we're doing, and you can monitor it. That's how you see the effort of that partner relationship, right? And then, of course, guys, this is terrible. I know this is just one more thing on your plate. You have to make sure the partner is bought in. I love that y'all want to do partner things, but until the partner says, hey, I'm going to do this too, I'm committed to sending out to my list, you're not going to really win. That's part of the reason why it's a stickiness that I want to talk about today in my presentation. You've got to create some stickiness. Are you doing anything to outreach to them? Are you providing them webinars, education, other marketing materials? Because they don't really care. They don't need you to sell the product. You actually need them to sell your partner tool, right? So if you're not making it easy for them, guys, that's the second thing. You've got to realize it's all about them, not us. We are just a part of the solution. But we need our partners to believe that we've got their best interests. So that's another KPI. Third, and this is probably more of a conversation with your sales team, like they have to be able to document where those opportunities are coming from. And I hate to say this, vendors, stop trying to take the customer away from your MSPs. That's why they don't come and do business with you. If you do that, they go, then we don't want to do business. Why? We're working this hard to get a customer and you're going to take them from us. That is a big no-no. That is not culture. That is not appropriate. But a lot of these big conglomerates do it. And so we have to change that mindset when we're thinking about how do we measure our KPIs. Those are some immediate things that you can totally make a compelling story about and say, hey, I want you guys tracking every time a sales deal comes through. I want to see it in your Salesforce. Like, how are we tagging them? Where do they come from? Because if your channel efforts are succeeding at what I think is going to be relationship versus transaction, then you always have the right to ask for budget. Until then, you kind of are just hoping something sticks like spaghetti. Throw it on the wall, something sticks, hopefully it works. And this is how it has to start from the beginning of the strategy, not after you've launched the webinar and you're hoping we can get some KPIs. This should have been all strategically placed prior to the strategy launching. Because then you have control. And Gianna, like you said, you can't really control once it's gone, and you can't. You have to do the controls before you go to market. That's just the rule of how you have successful campaigns and partnerships. Hopefully that helps. Oh, Sarah, it's a bummer. Yeah, watch the recording. Hopefully you can see the answers on there.
Charlene, I love that you mentioned relationships. And I think where that could really help and where that could really come in is when we think about our partners and how we're a partner of theirs. They also have a lot of other partners. And if you want them to think of you first before thinking of others, you need a solid relationship so they can put you at that like top of the list of possible solutions to recommend.
I love that. And guys, remember, it's not about you. If we all forgot about that part, I just want to remind you, it's not about you. That's how you're going to get more KPIs hit. That's how you're going to get more sales. That's how you're going to make more revenue. It's not about us, guys. We are not the person of focus. We need to make our partners focus when we build a channel partner program.
And I do love what you said also about the attribution, the buy-in of the channel partner, so that when money flows through them, right, you sponsor their event, you spend money on a dinner, that they also are bought in so that they can help you, or not help you, but like that money does something. It becomes something. It goes towards something that is attributable. Because if you're just willy-nilly, like you said, without a strategy, willy-nilly setting this up and throwing money in, like, willy-nilly in, willy-nilly out. You don't know.
Exactly.
So.
What did you expect was going to get farmed, right? Mm-hmm. You're farming and you're harvesting and you're like, how come I can't harvest? Because you didn't farm. You didn't do the work, guys. That's why everyone's like, sure, how do you get over here? Let me tell you, it's called work. I'm not on a plane excited, packing my stuff. I got to work. Like, that is what I'm doing there. That is what my purpose is to work. That's the whole thing behind success. It's work. Just dressed up in, puffy eyes and luggage and airports and everything else. It's just work. That's all it is.
I have a question if I could jump in with
one.
How do you overcome the whole chicken and egg thing where like you want to encourage the sales team to use the partnerships team and their partners for deals, but then you need to kind of prove that that is good ROI, but the deal needs to kind of happen. I know that obviously leadership buy-in is a big one, but how do you get them excited about it, about this, horizon or like mirage of an ROI if we're going through partners instead of just going direct?
Well, I love that. So Maria, let me just endorse the two things you said. Leadership. If your top C-suite executives don't believe in it, it's going to trickle down. That's just the reality, right? Because they're not going to put time, budget, effort, whatever. So that's first thing is, guys, if you're in a position like that, that's a really losing proposition because you can't fix something that's not wanting to be fixed. Okay. Just a full disclosure. Second thing, before I give you my answer. So when you think about the sales team, they are measured differently than marketing. Okay. Marketing, you have MQL responsibilities. Sales, you have SQLs. So until you can have the same language, that gets really hard to explain how you're going to work together. Like I have to work with multiple CROs. It's just one of my expectations as a channel chief, as a CMO, even as a CEO. I've got to work in those relationships, right? So Maria, I love that. There's languages that both people need to speak in order for them to win. So sometimes you just have to understand, like, what is your role, sales? You need SQL, great. But if I don't get them through MQL, you're never going to get SQL. This is just how it works. There's no chicken and egg there. It is just the process of a sales funnel when you think about it. So here's what we do. And this has been really fun for me and my team. When we talk strategy and we say, hey, sometimes Maria, you just got to go do it and prove to them. And here's the rule. They have no control when you say, I've proved it. Here's what we've done. And sometimes that's what you got to do. You just got to take some grit and say, we're going to develop MQLs and push them into SQLs, and we're going to do it ourselves. Because they have to then accept that a process worked, that a strategy worked. And when you have enough of those wins, they have to listen to you. And the reason why is because SQL, and I'll say this, everything that you do right in marketing, guys, an SQL is just a qualified person who's asking, what do I do next? What's that next step? I need a demo. I need this process, right? That's how you know your MQL worked in order to go into an SQL pipeline. So if you have to build your marketing funnel that way, then you build it from a sales position first and then into an MQL position, because that's how you're going to get the win. And then you show up that day and say, here, we've done 10 MQLs, they've produced SQLs, and here's what you're going to do next. You're going to take the calls and the demos and you're going to show up. And that's what we tell our clients. My job is not to close your deal, take contracts, or make money. Like, that's not my job. My job is to bring them to you, and then your job is to close them. Because if marketing was supposed to be closing deals, then I'm in the wrong part of the funnel.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
That's
And
when you
sometimes
identify.
sometimes choosing maybe one or two people on a sales team that are your champion for this idea
Right.
and get them to, like, okay, help me prove ROI, then all their peers in the sales team will listen and believe that it actually could work.
And sometimes you just have to do it. As a marketing team, guys, sometimes you just have to go do it. And then you go, here, I did it.
We're good salespeople at the end of the day, aren't we?
Well, and that's
we would all be great at sales, I think, on this
If you
call.
start with an SQL strategy into your MQL strategy as that second layer, you're going to have a lot more wins, guys. So that's how you build a successful funnel that can go into a CRO's room and say, here you go. All right. Everyone is, but who's great at closing? That's the secret sauce. You got to be a closer. In order to make sales and marketing work, got to be a closer.
ABC. Oh, we do have a question from T.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Teague. Hi, Teague. How you doing? You want to read the question, Maria?
Sure. When building a new partner program ecosystem from the ground up, what is the realistic timelines to source revenue? And how do you set proper expectations with the leadership executive team?
Oh, that's a hard question because there's two problems that happen. One is, okay, everybody, don't ever quote me. I know this is on LinkedIn Live, so I guess I'm going to be out there in the world.
Quote me. It's being recorded.
They have your data. Okay, fine. Reality is, if they're asking you the question and they're drowning and it's Q3 and they try to hit, 2 million goal by Q4, tell them, go up, you're up in the night. Let's just be realistic. You got to set the expectation. First thing is understand where the company is. When they ask you that question, if you do not know where the company is, it's going to be, you're always going to be losing, right? Don't come to me when the ship is burning and be like, hey, how are you going to stop the burning ship? I'm like, the ship's burning. I can get you some buckets of water. I can help you do a couple of things, but I can't save the ship. So set real expectations by understanding what the current company or business is at, because that's going to help you create expectation, right? The reason why expectations don't work is because everyone has elbows. Like, everyone has an idea of how it's going to be done, but let's take a realistic picture of where the business is. Second, and this is probably where, so we're pretty aggressive. So forgive me if I tell you something. We could build a channel program in less than 90 days. Because we just do it enough and we have the relationships and we do it consistently. And so we have a shorter runway because we've done it more. So a lot of times, guys, your team's coming to you saying, hey, we want to build a channel program. If you've never built one, it's really hard. It's going to probably take you 12 months to build it because there's more pieces to it than just saying, well, Shar just told me to go build a channel program. I'm not telling you that. I do it enough. So in 90 days, we have a standing program, we have sales, we have revenue, we've got partners. That is what is successful. Now, here's the thing. In order for you to be sticky enough for you to go to, your leadership to say, hey guys, I need a budget, you've got to understand the sales process. Now, that's the reason why if you don't have a great relationship yet with the sales team or the CRO and even the CFO, I probably start there because they're going to tell you what really the business needs to do. And it's appropriate for you to ask, especially if you're going to be introducing a channel strategy to your company. It's called work. At the end of the day, guys, it's called work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a sales cycle too. How long is a sales cycle? You have to take that into consideration, right? Your regular direct sales cycle.
Right.
And then if you have multiple products, that might actually vary between the different products, and even industries, regulated industries tend to be slower.
Right.
So add a couple of months to that for a channel, right? Or maybe a little bit less.
We get a lot of quotes sometimes from people who come to us and say, Char, this company quoted us, it's going to take us 18 months. I'm like, I'm not a consultant. I'm trying to give you a solution to your problem. That's why I need you to get quickly through this build of a channel program. And so you got to ask those questions like, do you need an 18-month retainer? Is that why this is taking so long? And it's okay to have someone come in and help you build it. The problem is you've got to have the right expectations because, there's sales cycles, there's leadership, there's budgets. But I really believe, guys, channel is, if you're not already adopting a channel strategy, that you need to start. It's just what is needed. It's the reality of our buying cycles, our customers. Channel is the way to go.
Everyone's talking about channel. It is a big topic. And as the direct sales becomes more difficult, given the economic environment and how people buy things and platformization and all of that, we have seen that our members, which is why we put this together, our members are more interested in channel go-to-market and how to do channel. So Char, there are more questions, but we're at like 20 minutes to go. So I want to make sure you have your deck. You're
this
able
is
to.
What happens when we start like, oh my gosh, Char, I need that. I'm like, okay.
I want to make sure.
This is better.
You want to do that? Okay, we can do this.
I'm kidding.
What do you guys want, audience?
You know what? The deck, this is the thing though. When you have a deck, this is part of the problem, right, guys? Part of you guys are waiting to know the framework of it. So that's what the deck is trying to do, is provide you some sort of tangible, like, hey, here we go. Or we just do another event and we just freaking do it again. Who knows? I just help, show up, tell me what I got to do. I will help. It doesn't matter to me. But it's just to give you a framework, because I know some of you are like, hey, what are some of those things that I'm not doing? Now, here's the rule. Just because I say it doesn't mean you're going to do it. You've got to pick one or two things from today's webinar to actually go implement. And of course, connect on LinkedIn, chat with me on Slack. It doesn't matter to me. I will answer your questions. I just don't want you to think I have given you all of this and you're going to actually execute everything I've told you. That's not going to happen. Pick one or two things, guys, that you're like, I'm going to champion this. I'm going to do this and execute. Like, great. That's a win. I don't want you to feel like you have to do it all.
Yeah, that's good advice, because you can't do it all, especially if you're on a small marketing team. Hey, we want to go channel. So the leadership wants it and they're like, hey, do channel. And you're like, okay. So Char, why don't you get into some of those pieces? Want to go into it?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'm going to share my screen for a hot second. And then I will do it maybe 6 minutes, 7 minutes max, and then we can move through, okay?
Awesome. So keep those questions coming. We are also going to do, if you stay through to the end of the webinar, we are doing a gift card draw, which is so fun. And I love that we're able, thank you, Charlene. I love that we're in Fornix Marketing. I love we're able to make this fun and interactive, that you're doing this AMA style and we're going to do this draw. So make sure to put those questions in. The draw is only for people who ask questions. So Charlene, go ahead.
Answering more. He's like, Char. I'm like, I know, I see you in the corner there. So when you talk about channel partner program, because we've built so many for multiple things, whether it's a SaaS, whether it's a service, whether it's a product, these are years of experience, guys, in our go-to-market. And so I really want to level set with you that the baseline is that this partner strategy can be used for any organization. It doesn't matter if you're a product, it doesn't matter if you're SaaS, if you're a service, you can use it for any strategy that you have to build out a partner program. There's principles that I live by. So of course, it's been fun to meet everybody and chat. It's been so giving, and I love that. My isms is to lead with giving. So if you want to give to lead, you're going to be a far more successful channel chief, CMO. If you're aspiring to those chief titles, then my invitation to you is adopt values and core principles that you're going to live by and serve by. But this has helped me so many ways. I can't even tell you guys how deals happen. And my clients just close their eyes and go, how do we get here in less than 3 months when we were told it would take us years to get there? So who's in the room? I've been chatting with you. Gian and Maria have been running our chat. I'm excited to hear from you. But in the actual chat, if you guys can do this, I'd like to know by number one, if you can put chat numbers in there. One is that if you are currently in a channel role that is going to be supporting kind of like what you need from this presentation. Two, if you're number two, that means that you want to transition into channel and that you're currently maybe in a role that has nothing to do with channel, but you want to get there. Please put that in the chat. And then three is that if you are completely marketing on the house of marketing in the business, that tells me kind of how to overlap, because there are distinctive roles, distinctive responsibility as you build the channel. So I'm going to look at the chat and just make sure. All right, ones and twos, awesome. Not solely channel, okay. I want hats, complete on the marketing side, yep. But interested in the channel, you got to understand that for sure. Okay, I love that, Owen. Thank you, Lydia. Awesome. Okay, great. That's going to give me a lot of threes. I love that. This is going to help me make a bridge for your, biggest value takeaway today is to make a bridge for you. Okay. So as you keep having those numbers in, so what is the channel? The channel is multifaceted, just like marketing. You know how marketing is like, you got podcasting, you got email content, you got emails, you've got social media, you got Facebook groups, you got LinkedIn groups. Marketing has so many of those facets. Channel has so many facets, but there are three basic things. One is channel can be the single sales strategy for an organization. So it falls under sales if they're going to sell to and through a channel. Some companies sell channel plus end user. So even though they have a channel strategy, they have an end user strategy. And then of course, the third thing, this is critical for anyone who's in the marketing side of it, is that channel has its own marketing strategies. It is not the same as a CMO. It is not the same as your general marketing go-to-market strategy. It is handled completely different. So just know that as I pour into you through the next couple of slides, guys, channel and channel marketing, channel strategy, channel sales are all different than traditional marketing and sales that you do right now for companies, okay? Now, when you think about it, my experience in the room, you have a couple of people on the team that have to be a part of that ecosystem. One, the channel chief. Two is a CMO, because the channel chief a lot of times will not handle the marketing. It will go back to the CMO. And how many of you have felt like sometimes they say, CMO, you're in charge of channel marketing. And they're like, what is that? What does that even mean? And a lot of you guys who are number threes, you guys are trying to look into channel and you're like, how do we even do that? So there is a distinct difference. There are separate roles and responsibilities when you think about a channel program. There's a marketing manager and a partner admin. And a partner admin is usually typically managing those relationships, reaching out to them, making sure that they have everything. But a marketing manager is very different because they are literally a part of marketing to and with that partner. So these roles are different for every organization. You might say, Char, we're a one-man shop and we've got to have one person wear 20 hats. I get it. I understand that. But until you understand what makes a channel program successful, you're never going to have truly the wins you expect because there's multiple facets of it. And that's what's really fun when we build channel programs. They're like, Char, the marketing admin's your person. I'm like, oh boy. This poor person is not understanding fully their role and responsibilities. So we have actually implemented training, channel teams, marketing teams, marketing people, even CMOs. I've done training, one-to-one coaching to get them brought up so that they can move in their career or help their organization. So very, very common, guys, that a lot of times the team that's running channel doesn't necessarily know how to run the channel. And so I'm trying to bring these worlds together to understand that you're a whole team, but building a channel strategy has its own set of roles and responsibilities. Hopefully that's been helpful to someone, because you're trying to communicate this, I'm sure, to your CEO. When I think about launching a channel partner program, I think about it in a strategy of go-to-market. So what you do as a channel is different than what you do in your regular marketing for your company. So there's a couple of areas that we're going to talk about: market, operations, velocity, expansion. And just because I don't have enough time, I'm going to go quickly through this. But when you think about an overall strategy, guys, and you're thinking about channel, your customer is different. Your customer's language is different. The content is different. Everything is different when you run channel, but it's the same formula that you use for go-to-market. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful to someone in the room, because I know sometimes it's like, the black hole, like, sure, there's so many things to do. And I try to simplify it by just saying, let's just start with a go-to-market strategy when you're trying to establish a channel program. That's really probably the easiest way I can communicate to give you real tangible things that you can do. So first things first, figure out what your go-to-market strategy is, and then build your channel program around that. Okay. So who should you market to? Here is the hardest thing. If your product, depending on your product, if it's a product that has a margin where an MSP can make a margin on it. For example, we just onboarded a client out of Las Vegas, exactly. Really awesome, smart guy, has a Microsoft solution. He's like, hey, Shar, who's my customer? I'm like, well, anyone who has Microsoft. Oh, okay. Sometimes who you market to is different than what maybe the person that's selling to and through is. So you have to understand who you're marketing as a channel chief is different than who your end user partner is going to be. So you have to be able to understand what market you're selling to and through, what their attributes are, what do they do, what are their personalities, what is that they're looking for? Because you're selling to and through, and if you have an end user problem attached to that, then you have to understand that there's an end user who's going to also need to have clarification and no confusion about how you're marketing and growing your channel program. Next slide. Sorry, guys, I just don't have enough time to do each slide, so I'm just going to hopefully serve you as quickly as I possibly can. Expanding, where you are, where you want to go. In the chat, I'm going to pull up the chat really quick. How many of you actually have a partner program that you're marketing? 1, you have a partner program. 2, you don't have a partner program at all. Because expanding this, strategy is going to be a lot different, and how you go about it is going to be very different. Okay. So 1, you have a partner program. 2, you don't have a partner program. Okay. So everybody has a partner program. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, Pam, got it. Okay, seeing you going there. Okay, so I'm going to lean into that then really quick. So when you look at a partner program, but not leveraging enough. Owen, that's a common problem, my friend. I see that all the time. It's the I want to do it, but I don't do it attitude, which is really hard. And then they wonder why they're stuck in the same place. Okay. So when you're thinking about expansion, guys, and you're thinking about your current partner program, I want you to ask for feedback. And this is hard because sometimes I call feedback the food of champions. But if you could take your existing partners and survey them and say, how's this partner? And maybe ask 5 questions. Here's the 5 questions. What is your current partner program doing for you? Have you sold and made any money using our partner program? 3, how are your customers currently using the solution? 4, what is missing from our partner program? And 5, do you find our partner program is helping you build your business? Those 5 questions right there really answer and make it like 1, 2, 3, make it super easy. You're going to have feedback to leverage then the strategies from today's webinar to help you grow your channel, because they're going to tell you what your problems are. And the only way you're going to be successful, guys, is to be able to solve their problems. And I hope that was helpful to anyone. If you guys thought that was helpful, please put it in the chat, because I want to make sure you are getting an immense amount of strategy and solutions that you can really go and grow your channel. So expansion, when you're thinking about expansion, here's the second thing, is if the partner program is dead and it doesn't have any, there's no hope for it, I want you to be able to say, guys, we need to just revamp what we're doing. We need to just take it off the table and rebuild it. That is a strength of a successful human being who wants the business to grow, and you want to be successful at doing that. So sometimes you got to look at your existing program and say, we're not ready to expand because we've got to fix these problems first before we do that. So we run global channel programs, and we are a global firm. that helps a lot of our partners who are coming into the market or coming into an international market. And one of the things that I've always told them is, if it's not working, it's okay to start again. A lot of times people want to put duct tape, and sometimes duct tape, guys, isn't good enough. And you don't want to have your name attached to some of those products and solutions if duct tapes is all the marketing strategy you've got. It's not going to help you get there. So again, my expectation for a lot of you who are trying to move from marketing into, partner programs is that there are two different aspects of it. They're not the same. What you did to market the business is not the same that you would market the actual channel program. Okay. So I got to just quickly move here. A couple more things. Operations. So tools, solutions. We have providers that we work with. Exemplify is one of our partners. Really awesome tool solution. We're going to be bringing them to the conference in December. We just love solutions that work. Technology is going to be part of your strength to grow your channel partner program. Also, there has to be a training, a re-onboard. If you're going to relaunch your partner program, sometimes operations has to be, how do we get through the minutia? So sometimes you've got to re-onboard everyone. We use AI quite heavily in our strategies where we automate emails, we automate video, we automate training. So everything we do to make it stand up in the systems, you have to have solutions that are technology focused and automation like drivers. Because you're not trying to tell your boss, hey, I've got to, add on 2 more staff members. That's not going to usually fly. Because, if there's a budget that's not already used for channel and you're trying to get some of that budget, it might be a hard conversation. So look at automation, look at platforms that can really help you grow, and technology is really the tool of success. Velocity. So, I love this. I wish we had more time, but of course, every good thing you got to just give as much as you possibly can in that moment. But velocity, here's the key, guys. We have a client that we launched internationally. We launched in France and in Manchester, so the European market. And it literally was like pulling teeth. It was so hard to explain the power of it. So what we did is we took a step back and we said, we're going to hit specific markets and specific targets that we have relationships in, and we're going to go to market. We literally launched internationally, and it was kind of crazy because that momentum was leveraged from existing relationships we already had. So that was an important part of it. 2, if you're totally starting out and don't have any of those relationships, one of the things that's really key is to talk about the sales strategy. What is that power behind all of your marketing? Is getting sales to buy into your strategy, because that's what creates momentum, and momentum creates visibility. Visibility creates proximity, and proximity creates sales. You are literally driving. If you're driving the channel program, guys, your goal is to take a step back, have someone give you an assessment of what the current market looks like and what your current program looks like, so you can make changes to it, so you can solve some problems. I know I'm trying to go through these slides so quick. So guys, take action, pick 1 or 2 things. If you guys can put in the chat, what's your 1 or 2 things that you're going to do to help your channel program grow or to start a program? I'd love to see that there. That will help me kind of identify maybe what the next things need to happen in Slack, what I could do on my LinkedIn lives. But guys, 1 or 2 things that you're going to commit to do is going to make the biggest change in your current strategy right now. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm that person on LinkedIn that likes to talk to people. Make sure you connect with me, find me, message me, connect with me on Slack if you're already in our community. But yeah, I'm here to help you guys solve some problems that we've already found solutions to. And Gian and Maria know this about me. I want to over deliver to you. So please reach out to me. Let me know what we can do to help you.
This was awesome, Charlene. And so we had prepared questions and we did not get to literally any of them because the questions just kept flowing from the audience. We're going to do this again.
Oh, okay.
Don't
All
worry.
right. Nice.
We're going to do this again. So everyone keep an eye out on your email for the Spoonful and in the Slack community and on our LinkedIn page that we'll bring Char back, and we'll have her answer more specific questions you have, and we can dive deeper and take it wherever you guys want to take it, because obviously you had a lot of questions. I also want to say thank you. Clifford, we saw you over on LinkedIn, so thank you for all your comments and questions there. There are some more unanswered questions. So Shar, I know we're going to have to drop soon, but I will send those to you. And maybe you could answer them offline and we could distribute them to the community. And then Shar, you're going to be speaking at Cyber Marketing Con, and you have a bunch of workshops coming up. You want to share more about
the
stuff
stuff
that you
do?
do?
In the chat really quick. I'm going to be in New York next month, and I've got a full day workshop on channel marketing. Also, we're going to build your channel partner program within that day. So if you guys want to, go ahead and put yourself on the registration because you're part of the community. We will comp your ticket for that day. It is a full day, guys. Like, come prepared.
Wow.
But our community needs to know what to do because I want you guys to win. So whatever we've got to do, reach out to me on LinkedIn so you can get the code. But yeah, I put it in the chat. Please be there. Come to conference, be there. We're going to own a whole day of channel. Like, that is what I'm building specifically for our community. So I'm really excited about that, guys. It sounds like this is where they want us to be focused on.
Absolutely. And of course, we said there was an Amazon gift card draw, and Miranda is the winner. Congratulations.
Ooh, Miranda, wherever you are. Yay. Awesome. So Miranda, you can get my information. Oh, I'll just put it in here. Here's my cell phone so that we can make connections. Here's my personal line. Yes, I have a cell phone. I don't know. My team's like, sure. I'm like, stop giving your number. I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't even like figure it out for my life. You can totally Slack chat me because I'm on there. And then, of course, here's my personal email so you can reach out to me so that you can get your information, Rand, and I can get that to you. And you'll have to tell everyone what you bought. Hopefully you bought something cool for yourself. I know we all like to give, but sometimes I tell you give to yourself first too, because it always helps give to everyone else. So you're kind, Miranda, for being here. Everyone else who's asked questions. I mean, guys, the chat has been packed of questions and LinkedIn Live too. Like, it's been packed there too.
Yes, this has been awesome. So, Charlene, we're going to have you back on soon, and we
Okay,
definitely have
thank
something
you.
scheduled, I think, for October. And thank you so much for sharing. And I would ask you, how can people reach you? But you literally put your cell phone number in, so people can definitely reach you.
Should I have done that? I don't know. I just
That's
do it.
okay.
And my team's like, Char, you can't put your cell phone there. I'm like, I know, but what do you want me to do?
It's a very Obama and Gary Vaynerchuk move. It's like, here's my cell. Let's connect.
Well, and it's guys, I have my cell phone. Like, I see my cell phone. So if you're messaging me, I'm going to see it. So I'm not worried about it.
I like it.
Awesome. This was recorded for the question and asker, and we will also exactly. So we'll have a replay available for everybody. And thank you all for joining. Thank you so much, Char, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with the community.
Oh, thank you guys, everyone. I can't wait to see you on Slack.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.